Lillahi ta'ala. All right. So we are continuing in this introduction to Arabic. And we talked about the sciences of Arabic language in general to get a big picture about it. And now we want to look at some of the fundamentals of the Arabic language.
Okay.
Fundamental here means the ground, from the ground. Where you're starting from, what are you building upon? And what we're going to start with is talking about the Arabic letters. And so the author says here, speech or kalam is made of words, kalimat. Yani kalam is made of kalimat, words. Kalimat that are made of huruf, letters, or ahruf. Huruf or ahruf. You can say either way, this plural. Al-ahruf or al-huruf. The difference between them is that one of them is a plural of many and one of them is a plural of few, but I forgot which one is which.
Okay.
I'll have to review, inshallah.
So,
Okay, letter. What's meant here by letter is what they call in Arabic harfu mabna. Harfu mabna. Mabna. Let's Bismillah. What they call harfu mabna. This means building letter. You build words from these letters. These letters are like bricks, blocks. They don't have a meaning. So one letter doesn't have a meaning. It's not the point of a letter to have a meaning. But there is a kind of letter in Arabic that has a meaning. But we're not going to call it a letter. We're going to call it a particle. Particle such as the wow. You're going to just write it like this, wow. When you want to say the name of it, you're going to write the whole name out. Al-wow. But we talk about this thing here, which the pronunciation is wa. That's a word there.
Yeah.
Because it has a meaning. Also, when you say, for example, al-malu li Zaid. Al-malu li Zaid. Here, this lamp, it has a meaning. Because this means the money belongs to or is for Zaid.
Where's the war?
That's different from the lamb in this word here. This is a lamb for kasrah. This word is lisan. Lisan, tongue. This lamb with the kasrah has no meaning. So this one is called harfu mabna, a building letter. And this one here is called harfu ma'na. That means a meaning letter. A meaning letter, which means it's a word. And this harfu ma'na, it doesn't have to be only one letter. It can be made of up to 5 letters, actually. Sometimes has 2 letters, like fi. Sometimes has 3 letters, like thumma. Sometimes has 4 letters, like lakin. Sometimes has 5 letters, like lakin. Do you know these words? Fi, thumma, and lakin?
yes.
Mm-hmm. This first one is just with sukun on the moon. each one of these is a harf ma'na. It's not because it's made of more than one letter that it's not a harf. So that's why we're not going to call these letter. We're going to call these particle. That's a kind of word. And as for these building letters, we're going to call those letters or huruf or ahruf. So those letters, yani, we said here that the kalam is made of words, of kalimat. The kalimat are made of huruf or ahruf. Yeah, I think that's clear, yani, because you're going to say, for example, take a letter. It's going to be such as dad. That's just a mere letter. And then if I put some more letters with it, then I can compose a word there. Now it's a kalima. And I can add another kalima. So now I've added 2 kalimat. Each kalima made of its own huruf. And then by putting these kalimat together, or yani kalimatan, 2 of them in this case, then I got kalam, speech. Daraba Zayd. Zayd struck.
Mm-hmm.
So those letters, according to the sequence or the arrangement, sometimes called huruful marjam, yani frequently. Huruful marjam, the dotted letters or the distinguished letters. What they're going to say in Arabic, huruful marjam. This means what we would call the alphabet. So you want to say alphabet in Arabic, say huruf al-mu'jam. Nah. Huruf is letters. Al-mu'jam refers to being dotted or distinguished. And it's not because they all have dots that they are called mu'jam, but because some of them do. It's enough for some of them to have dots for all of the letters now to be called huruf al-mu'jam, the dotted letters. Or distinguished letters. And you're telling the difference between them. And those letters are these. Alif, ba, ta, tha. Bismillah. Alif, ba, ta, tha. Jim, ha, ba, dal, dhal, ra, zay, fin, sheen, sad, bad, ba, ba, ayn, ghayn, fa, qaf, kaf, lam, mim, noon, ha, waw, ya. That's all the letters.
Mm-hmm.
But we have something written here. This thing here is lam alif.
Mm-hmm.
Lam alif. What is that? That's to represent the alif. You might say, well, what's the first letter over there? You said alif. So yeah, that's alif. But when we write it with this thing on top, it's really a hamza. Yani, let me clarify. Say I have this letter in Arabic, Bismillah, called alif. Al-alif. But you have another letter in Arabic called al-hamza. Now, a lot of times when you say the Arabic letters, you don't name hamza. You say alif, ba, ta, tha, etc., all the way to the end. And then your last letter is going to be ya. You're not going to say alif, and then at the end you say lam alif. Maybe some people might say that, but you shouldn't say that. So the alif is this letter here that I just wrote for you.
Mm-hmm.
And this alif, what is it? It is an extended vowel. It's an extension of a fatha. This letter alif, in reality, cannot stand alone. It needs to be after another letter. Because it's an extension of a fatha. Yani, in Arabic, you have letters. These letters, all these letters that we just read, Bismillah, all these letters here are what? Consonants. Consonants.
Mm-hmm.
Except the alif. Alif is the only one here that's not a consonant. But that's if we're not looking at it as Hamza. That's
Right.
if we're not counting it as a Hamza. We're counting it only as an alif.
Yeah.
Then this one is not a consonant, it's a vowel. But vowels are subordinate. Yani vowels are dependent, not independent.
Right.
Yani, look at these letters we have right here on the screen. So ba, it's a consonant. And I can put vowels on it. So I can say ba, bu, bi, ta, tu, ti, ta, thu, ti, etc. So the vowel itself is actually dependent. It doesn't stand alone. It's the ba that can stand alone, or the ta, or the tha, or the rest of the letters.
Yeah.
Not the vowel. If you learn, let's say, English language and probably other languages such as Spanish, then it's not presented to you like that. Rather, it's going to be presented to you that there's two kinds of letters. Two kinds of letters. They're going to say there's consonants, consonants. I hope I'm spelling that right. Maybe there's an A there. And vowels. So, what are the vowels in English? A, E, I, O, U. And sometimes Y. And sometimes W. Sometimes W. As if that's rare.
Mm-hmm.
So they say those are the vowels. So you say like E, I, O, U, or yani. They have long sounds and short sounds, right? So A, E, I,
Mm-hmm.
I, etc. But in all these cases, what's happening here for these vowels? All of this is Hamza. It's all Hamza, which is a consonant.
Yes.
They're pronouncing a consonant here without knowing that.
Yeah. I understand. I understand what you're saying. Yeah. But I never heard it like this. But I understand. I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
They
So they basically have Hamza, and then they're putting A, E, U, and some other vowels that don't exist in Arabic.
Right.
MashaAllah.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay. So the alif then, yani, by showing that these vowels are really Hamza, which is a consonant, there's a point here. The point is that the vowel is dependent, not independent, doesn't really stand alone as an independent letter. A vowel needs always to have a consonant before it.
Mm-hmm.
In Arabic, this consonant is registered as Hamza. This one that we want to use, this consonant that we want to use a lot of times just for the sake of the vowel. We'll see more about that. So, alif, the real alif that's not a Hamza is a vowel. And being a vowel means needs to have something in front of it. So it can, yani, piggyback off of it if you want to. So you say, Qala, Qaf with a fatha. The alif needs something in front of it.
Yes.
So if you want, you can say Kala or whatever else you want to say. But there needs to be a letter before that alif. So then, because of that, that's why some of them, when they do the Arabic letters, they add this character here at the end. And they call it Lam Alif.
Mm-hmm.
Lam Alif is they're representing the Alif as an extended vowel.
Okay. Alhamdulillah. I always wonder why they put that. I was like, what? Why do you do that? And they already have these two letters.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah.
So then, if we're going to say Lam Alif at the end to acknowledge Alif as an extended vowel, then there's no need for us to say Alif in the beginning when we start. Then we can say Hamza. So then, if we want to say Lam Alif at the end, then we're going to start by saying Hamza. Hamza, Ba, Ta, Ta, Jim, etc. until you say Mim, Noon, Ha, Wow, Ya, Lam Alif.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Yani, if you want to do more traditional way, don't go through all of that. Just say Alif and don't say Lam Alif at the end.
Okay.
And then when you need to teach someone, you explain to them the difference between Alif and Hamza. Basically, Hamza is missing from the roll call here.
Okay. So when like it's written here, that's really a Hamza on a stick.
It's Hamza on the Alif.
On an Alif, I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no.
That's Hamza on an Alif.
Uh-huh.
But we just saying Alif for the sake of just going through the alphabet?
Okay. Yeah, good question. So if we write this Hamza here, then that's really a Hamza, not really an Alif.
Right.
When Hamza is written on an Alif, you can call it an Alif.
Okay.
But it's a Hamza.
Okay.
And so if you were to say Alif with the Hamza written there, it's not going to be wrong. It's not going to be a wrong word.
Okay.
But it's really a Hamza.
Okay.
And then if you're going to say Alif here, then I would suggest you don't say Lam Alif at the end. Because you already said Alif at the beginning, even though it's a Hamza. So if somebody really wants to say Lam Alif, he likes that, then let him say Hamza at the front. Instead of Alif. Hamza, Ba, Ta, Tha, etc.
Yeah.
Now, before it slips me, why they chose the Lam though? Because Lam Alif is just to represent Alif as an extended letter, since it always needs something before it. Why choose a Lam? Out of all the letters, does it matter? In principle, for the point, it doesn't matter which letter you choose, but for a consistency in Arabic language, they chose Lam. Because, like we mentioned last time, Arabic is a language of patterns. And one way they know that something is not from Arabic is that it doesn't have anything like it. So they didn't want to choose any random letter and say, let's call it Qaf Alif. Let's call it Vla Alif. Vla doesn't get a lot of play.
Right.
So why they chose Lam? Because if they're going to associate the Alif with something, they should associate it with something that it's frequently associated with, so that it will have a similar. And the Alif is frequently associated with the Lam because of the word Al. Because of the word Al, the Alif is frequently associated with the Lam. So they chose Lam Alif to complement Alif Lam, so that it will have something similar.
Okay.
No, mashallah. So Well, I was about to tell you something. So alif is an extended vowel, cannot stand on its own, and needs a letter before it. And that's a true alif. And as for this other letter that's Hamza, we're going to actually talk more about Hamza. We have section about Hamza. But now we'll just bring it to your attention because I meant to actually earlier, where we should have actually mentioned this already was when we were talking about Imla. The student needs to learn the rules of Imla so he can write things properly. And I gave you some examples, like examples when you don't write the alif.
Yeah.
Or like the example of ula, we write the wow when we don't say it.
Mm-hmm.
And those are just few examples. And amongst the things that go here in this section, in this topic, is learning how to write the hamza. So had it crossed my mind at the moment, I would have just given you a few examples here at this spot. But I'm going to now give you some examples here just to introduce it to you. And then you will be just waiting when it's time to start it. Inshallah. So this Hamza, what is it? Hamza is a consonant, comes from the bottom of the throat. And originally the Hamza did not have a character. The character of Hamza is taken from the character of the Ain. So they just decapitated an Ain and made that the character for a Hamza. Otherwise, this is an innovation. This Hamza, its character, I mean, is an innovation like the harakat and sukun and shadda and dots and other things. But also like them in pronunciation, it was existing in Arabic.
Okay.
Because there was definitely Hamza.
Just speaking, there was Hamza. The Hamza was there.
Yes.
But in writing, they had to make this. They innovated this.
Yeah.
Okay.
They innovated it later when they started innovating things.
Okay.
The old Arabs didn't need it.
Right.
So this is the character they chose, the head of an Ain. So this head of the Ain, sometimes it appears, this Hamza, sometimes it appears on an alif over it. In particular, it has fatha or has dhamma. And sometimes it appears under the alif. It's going to have kasra.
Yeah.
And sometimes it appears on a wow. And sometimes it appears on a ya. And if the ya is in the middle of the word, it looks like that.
Mm.
And people call that a kursi.
Yes.
A seat for the Hamza. Or they call it nabra, which means a protrusion for the Hamza.
Nabra.
Nabra. Yeah. Nabra. And sometimes this Hamza is written on a line by itself. So how do you know? There's rules for that. So that you can spell properly. If you do enough practice, you can figure it out without learning the rules. If you do enough practice, you can figure it out without learning the rules. Because Allah enabled me to figure that out without learning the rules. I mean, I used to just try so much, try, writing. Before I got overseas to take Imlat class, I could write the word. It just seemed like it makes sense. That's why. So, for example, how would you write ma'wa? Ma'wa. The Hamza is on the alif. Why is not on a wow? Ma'wa, ma'wa. why it's not on a seat? Ma'wa. So on an alif. So I didn't learn. Like, well, the reason why it's on the alif here is because just from looking, reading, trying to write what I hear, etc., then started in my own mind that I could see a pattern or something. So, so the word ma'wa, for example, I would have, mashallah, been able to write it properly. Or take another word, mu'min. Mu'min. It's written with a hamza on the wow. So why it's not written like this? Mu'min. Or like this. Mu'min. So there's rules for this that you'll learn. Well, just to give you a heads up, you're gonna sometimes look and see, is the hamza, if the hamza is in the middle of the word, what's on the hamza itself and what's on the letter before it? What's on the hamza itself and what's on the letter before it? What's on the hamza itself and what's on the letter before it? The vowels we're talking about here.
Yes.
Then that's what's going to make you know how to write the hamza in the middle of the word. Sometimes hamza is at the end of the word, like the word al-bari, al-bari, and like this word al-wudu. Or here's another one, an-naba, naba. Now the hamza is at the end of the word in all these cases. So how do I know how to write it? Now I'm just going to look at the letter before it. Just the letter before it. You see here, the letter before the hamza, the vowel before it. The vowel before the hamza is fatha.
Yes.
So at the end of the word, it's going to be written on an alif. The vowel before the hamza is kasra. At the end of the word, then it's going to be written on a ya, without dots. And what's on the letter? The letter before the hamza has sukun, then hamza is going to just be written on the line alone. And the old Arabs, how they were writing this, no dots, no hamza, no harakat.
Just looking at that is like, whoa.
Yeah, big difference. Subhanallah. So that's the case of the alif and the hamza. And this is also the case if you want to recite the Arabic letters. So you're going to do it the way I told you. If you want traditional way, just start with alif and end with ya, and that's it. And this means that hamza itself is missing from the roll call. If you want to say lam alif at the end, then say hamza in the beginning. Yahya, excuse me. Yahya ibn Ya'mar, the pious student of the companions, and he was a scholar. He was the first to dot the book of the Quran. Okay, so that's how the dotting started. Not just in Arabic for the sake of Arabic language, was for preserving the Quran. And then it caught on. And there was a time when that was still a novelty. A person would find a mushaf with dots and say, whoa, this is one of those mushafs.
Right.
There's a report about that. There's one person, he said that he got his hands on a dotted mushaf, when he was in prison. When he got out of the prison, he showed it to one of the scholars. I think he's in the prison of Al-Hajjaj. You know Al-Hajjaj, the tyrant?
The type, yeah, I heard that. Yeah,
Yeah, very, very horrible guy. Very powerful in Arabic too.
really.
Yeah, very eloquent in Arabic. Very, very mean person. Someone said to him, "What makes your hair go gray?" He said, "Khawful lahn." It means the fear of making a mistake in Arabic.
Mashallah.
Subhanallah. This man's a killer. So he said, I was in the sijin of this one. He said, he got his hands on a dotted mushaf. When he got out, then he showed it to one of the ulama of the tabi'un. And he told him, read from it, but don't dot it yourself. That's indication that's new.
Yeah.
MashaAllah. And also there's benefit in that advice because he still had power in Arabic language. Power to not need dots and things. So he's telling them, don't get weak here. You don't need training wheels.
Right. Right.
MashaAllah.
Mashallah.
So Yahya ibn Ya'mar, the pious student of the companions, he was the first one to dot the book of the Quran. Also known as At-Tartib al-Alif Ba'i. At-Tartib al-Alif Ba'i. The Alif Ba' sequence. So that sounds like alphabet. The Arabic alphabet. This is what we're still dealing with here. This list of letters up top. This presentation is the sequence of likes and similars. Tartib al-Ashbahi wal-Nadha'ir. There's the printing mistake here, which is that you do not put a space, do not put a space between wow and the word that it's in front of. This wow, which is the conjunction, you write it like as part of the word. Don't separate it from the word and don't leave it on the end of a line by itself. No. So that's printing blunder there. That space should be deleted. And I think it's consistent here in this book. Sometimes you'll see some publication that has that, then you would say, looks like they missed this detail. Usually the people don't separate the wow. But some people do. So this arrangement of Arabic letters that we are looking at, it is called Tartib al-Ashbahi wal-Nadha'ir, the sequence of likes and similars, meaning that all the like letters have been grouped together, which is the arrangement of Nasr ibn Asim, another one of these scholars from the nation of Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So this whole sequence is itself a bid'ah. Yeah. There's plenty of bid'ah in the Arabic language for Wahhabi's appetite, for the appetite of Wahhabi. Tell him remove everything, no dots for you, no harakat, no hamza for you, and put the letters back in the original sequence too. Upon this sequence, most scholars who wrote dictionaries depend. Yani, this is this alif, ba, ta, tha, jim, ha, kha, this common sequence that we know. Most of the Arabic dictionaries follow this sequence. Not all of them, though. And when we say they follow the sequence, they still sometimes have some differences in what they do. Like some of the Arabic dictionaries, they will group entries that have wow and ya together. Or even hamza, wow, or ya, they group them all together like it's one thing.
I don't understand that part. Hold up. You explain it? I don't get it.
Let's say, for example, there was a group of root letters such as Qaf, Ra, Hamza. Qara'a, he read. And let's say also there's a group of root letters which are qaf, ra, ya. Qara, yaqri,
Mhm.
whatever that might mean.
Yeah.
Now, in reality, these are different.
Yeah.
But some dictionaries, the scholars, they said, look, last letter here is a hamza, last letter here is a ya. I can merge these entries. So you're going to look under, if you were looking for qaf, ra, so the name of the entry might be qaf, ra, and irregular letter. Qaf, ra, and irregular letter. And then you're going to look for qaf, ra, hamza, qaf, ra, ya, qaf, ra, wow.
Mhm.
Some of them might do something like that. And some of the dictionaries, they have some other unique arrangements, how they saw to list their entries. Most of them follow this sequence here. But before this sequence, so wait, upon it, most of the scholars who wrote dictionaries depend, according to this listing, there are 29 letters. Yeah, according to this listing, there are 29 letters because we're counting Hamza and Alif. If you remove Hamza from the count and just say Alif, you're going to have 28 letters. There's 28 letters. You want to put it this way. And the Hamza is like a hardening of a vowel. There's 28 letters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these 28 letters, sometimes one of them is going to be Hamza, and sometimes one of them is going to be Alif. 28 letters in Arabic. And you can split them in half, 14, 14. 14 of them are huruf shamsiyah. 14 of them are huruf qamariyah. The sun letters and the moon letters. That's all your Arabic letters. 14, 14, 28 letters. You do it that way, then you're looking at Alif like a Hamza. Because Hamza is Qamari letter. Yeah. So it's like the Alif has like dual identity or something. So according to the listing we have here, there's 29 letters. I put this listing this way just to put all the letters.
Right.
To have Hamza and Alif in the list, but traditionally you're just going to say Alif and not mention the Hamza. And not say Lam Alif. Before it, though, before this sequence here, there was another, the Abjad sequence, At-Tartib al-Abjadi. It is as follows. Abjad, Hawaz, Hutti, Kalimun, Sa'fas, Qarushat, Takhadun, Dadaghun, Takhadun Dadagh. Abjad, Hawaz, Hutti, Kalimun. And a lot of people say Kalaman. Sa'fas, Qarushat, Takhadun Dadagh. Maybe most common is Kalaman. Fatha, Fatha, Fatha. If you want to do research and find this sequence, see what you find. But I learned also, I learned both ways. And since I don't find anyone, I didn't personally find anyone who says Kalimun, so I put Kalimun so that someone will. Yeah, I wanted to document it. So this is the original sequence here. And you could see that maybe that's challenging for a beginner. Some non-Arab, he's trying to learn Arabic. He wants to study Quran and everything. But though, don't forget the people in the past were smarter.
Yes.
So according to this listing, there are 28 letters. There are 28 letters, each with a numeric value. So before we go further there, so you see the sequence here and you see the sequence above. This common sequence here, which is at tartib al-alif ba'i, or tartib al-ashbahi wal-nadha'ir. It's simplified for the beginner. And the letters are broken apart. Each one is made to stand on its own as a letter. Alif, ba, ta, ta, like that. And then you will know the names of the letters too. As for this sequence here, the names of the letters are not presented. It's just, some pronunciations that have all the Arabic letters in them.
Right.
What are these pronunciations? I have a footnote here. It says here, there's a difference about the vowels of these expressions, like pronouncing kalimun as kalaman. Yes, it was said that these are the names of those who first scripted the shapes of the Arabic letters. It was also said that these are the names of the children of Mirar ibn Marwah, and that he was the first to script the Arabic letters. It was also said that they are the names of the kings of Median, and that Kalimun was the most elite among them. So Allah knows. What's this? But this is how it used to be presented. And there's another abjad sequence too. I don't memorize it. I think that it might be something from or used or circulated in North Africa.
Mm.
I didn't used to know there was another abjad sequence. I thought this is all I learned.
Yeah.
And I was saying, apparently, from my own understanding, sometimes you say something from your understanding.
Yes.
We will always want to say what we learned, not necessarily what we understood. So I think I understood that this is the only one. And I was saying that. And then one brother said, no, brother, there's another one. So he showed it to me. MashaAllah.
MashaAllah.
That's the lesson, Yani. You don't speak without knowledge.
Yes.
So we don't want to be wrong, even if it's something that's not a big deal.
Yeah. Where's this? The kings of Median. Where is this place?
Median is the town of Prophet Shu'aib. Median is the name of one of the sons of Abraham. He had a third son, Median. And there's a town named after him, Median. And this town, Allah sent Prophet Shu'aib to them. They were maybe, I don't know if the word capitalist works for them, but as if they were capitalists, just people take advantage. They made a lot of money. They were on the crossroads between Egypt and Iraq and Arabia and the Levant. So they were very wealthy and they were cheaters too. And so Allah sent a prophet to them. And then they didn't believe, Allah destroyed them.
Yeah.
Subhanallah. Median? Okay. So nevertheless, that's here at Tartib al-Abjadi. So now you are aware of two ways of listing the Arabic letters. A standard academic way and the original way in Arabic, the way of the old Arabs. Now, according to this listing, there are 28 letters, each with a numeric value.
Yeah.
The first 9 are ones, the second 9 are tens, the third 9 are hundreds, and the last one represents 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
This is a feature of the Arabic language, and what is done by poets and others is known as Hisab al-Jummal, the mathematics of sentences or sentential calculation. all of that is just an approximate translation on my part at that. I didn't get that from somewhere. Maybe I'm imagining I saw someone else who said sentential calculation. Maybe there is. But yeah, I came to that on my own. The word hisab is count or math. And jummal with the shadda here. So this hisabul jummal with the shadda on the meme is the name of this coding that we're talking about. Now, the Arabic sentence, as you know, is jumla.
Yeah.
Jumla. This plural of jumla is jumal, without a shadda though. Jumal. So this hisabul jummal, that's a different word with a shadda on the meme. So I just translated this name, hisabul jummal, like this or like that. It's an approximation and it's an improvising. So were you in the lesson last night?
Yes.
Okay. So alhamdulillah. Well, still we'll say here. So then the first 9 are ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Second 9 are tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. And then the next 9 are hundreds. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, and the very last is 1,000. So, if you're interested in this coding, then definitely memorize abjad sequence. It's going to make it easier for you to get to the numbers.
Yeah.
Or else, if you just only have a tartib al-alif ba'i, and then you want to know the numeric value, becomes all mixed up. Right? Because, let's see. Some people have, even like this, they have the numbers memorized very well.
Really?
Yeah. So then
Sure.
alif is 1, ba is 2. Abjad Jim is 3. Dal is 4. Abjad Hawaz Ha is 5. Was Wow is 6. Say is 7. And from there you can see how it's going to be all mixed up.
Yeah.
Now, we don't have any examples or anything about something done in Hisabul Jummal. I think that's fine though, especially from what we saw last night in the lesson. MashaAllah. But this just to introduce a person to the letters. So we actually now just completed what is here concerning the letters, all the letters, the Arabic alphabet if you want. And now we've reached the section about connecting letters. Probably should go smoothly, but anyway, we should stop here anyway. Yes. Okay.
I got to the lesson late.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask, you had to do something last night. What was it? And you probably mentioned it before I got there. Why are these numbers associated with these letters? Is that for us? What was that about? What was that for?
The most I know is that this is the Arabic language.
Just in general, the letters are associated with a number.
Yeah. Each letter has a numeric value. That's how the Arabic language is. MashaAllah.
Does the higher the numeric value mean that's the relevance of the language?
No. It's just a way to do code.
Okay.
Like a poet would use it.
Okay.
or even somebody else. For example, mashallah. I wanted to mention to you something, but it's like maybe far digression, so I just didn't want to take a far turn. But so perhaps you heard of a deviant group. They're called the Batiniyah, the people of the hidden meanings.
Yeah.
The allegorists. So these people, what do? They interpret the Quran in any way they want to. They will just say, for example, rivers of paradise, that means wisdom. And salat means following the imam. And whatever, anything they want, they'll just assign a meaning to it. So these people, they know Hisab al-Jummah. So what they do, they would talk to a person. How they would get somebody? How would they even get somebody into their club?
Right.
Because this is a secret society here, the Batiniyah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not just out pumping the dawah like we the Batinis.
Yeah.
No, they are showing something from the outside that they're just Muslims.
Okay.
So they can find somebody has to be gullible, first of all. So they're gonna find somebody who's gullible, whether he's a layman or he's a statesman. So their biggest nuisance for these people are scholars. They'll find some gullible guy, and then they'll say to him, for example, "Do you know who's Muhammad?" You say, "Yeah, Muhammad is the son of Abdullah, the Arabian prophet." He'll say, "No, that's not Muhammad." He'll say, "What? Well, who's Muhammad then?" I say, "Muhammad, it's you, and Muhammad is me, because Muhammad is a name with a secret, and I'm Muhammad, a secret. It's a name with a secret.
Oh,
I am Muhammad, and you are Muhammad. And do you know who is Ali?" You say, "Yeah, Ali is Ali ibn Abi Talib." You say, "No, that's not Ali. I'm Ali, and you're Ali, and all of us are Ali, because Ali is the name for secret." So this gullible person is saying, "Well, what kind of stuff is you want?" So he will say to him, "You're just one of those exoterics. You're from the people who just see things from the outside. You're not on this level here." So that one will say, "No, what? Tell me. So then he start drawing him in. So eventually he's going to get some money out of him. When we want to get some money out of him, he say, "All right, you want these secrets? These are lofty secrets. They are not given just like that. These are given by pact, covenant, and charity." And then he will recite to him an ayah, وَأَقْرِضُ اللَّهَ قَرْضًا حَسَنًا. So if you translate the words literally, it would say, give God a good loan. وَأَقْرِضُ اللَّهَ قَرْضًا حَسَنًا. Give God a good loan. So what he's saying here, in first place, he's calling himself God. Yeah, that's what he means. And in the second place, well, how much of this loan he wants the person to give him, how much money he wants this person to give him. So he's going to do Hisab al-Jummal. Qardan Hasana. How much is worth? Qardan Hasana. How much is hat worth? How much scene worth? How much noon is worth? How much cough is worth? Like that. Say, give me this much. There's a secret here.
Right.
Yeah. Like that. MashaAllah.
Oh, wow. Yes. I watched a show with the Batiniyah in it.
Oh,
and they were chasing them all over, trying to kill these people. I was like, whoa. Yeah.
Yeah, bad people.
Yeah. Wow.